And as you all can see, what we're going to be talking about today is community services available to you. So I decided to do this presentation because MCAF is great for sharing information about many services, right? You have English classes, you have employment services, you have settlement, you have childcare, you have so many things, but we're not the only ones that can help. And it's nice to be able to know what's around the city so that maybe you can contact other organizations for help in specific areas, okay? And you'll see that there are some organizations that are specifically for some jobs or developing skills for a certain type of occupation. And that's exactly what I wanted to do because the point is that I might not be the professional in IT, or I might not be the professional in starting a business. I might not be the professional in information about how to become an engineer. So I wanted to give you a list of community outlets that you can access if you want more specific information from professionals. Okay, so that's going to be the idea today. So I wanted to start, by the way, I think this presentation will be a bit shorter than the normal ones. So we can have perhaps more discussion at the end. If you want to ask me some questions that you've had on your mind, that's fine as well. So we'll start with Let's Work. Oh, 1 second, I have 2 people trying to join, 1 minute. Okay, you can all still hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay,
Scott.
excellent, awesome,
Thank you.
thank you. Okay. I think somebody's drawing on my presentation. That's okay. So let's go back here. So we'll start with the Let's Work program. The Let's Work program is an organization that helps people who have perhaps mental health barriers. Okay, and that is to say that it's an organization that deals with people who perhaps have trouble getting into the workplace because there are a lot of things that inhibit them or stop them from working within their own mental health. And mental health can mean so many different things. It doesn't mean that somebody is incapable of doing something. It could be something as simple as stress or anxiety, right? It's nice to know that there are organizations that deal with people who have anxiety and stress, because for a lot of people, this is a very real thing. They're scared to go to work because they're so stressed, or they don't feel they'll fit in, or they have so much anxiety about going to work. This program will work with people who have those issues. Okay, so the program provides transition to employment services to adults whose mental health presents a barrier in seeking employment. That's the idea of the Let's Work program. Individuals who access Let's Work services are considered workforce ready and receive job search and employment maintenance support from job developers. So if, for example, somebody you know, this is not just for you as well, this is for perhaps somebody you know, a friend, a family member, right? It could be useful information for not just you, but somebody else you might come in contact with. You would go to this organization here, and you would have an intake session. They would ask questions about you or whoever you might be referring there. And through that, they can find a subsidized program with a company or an employer here in Fredericton. so that you can get some job experience and get exposed to working, which is great because the more exposure you get, the more comfortable you might become. So this is just one example. The location is here, and don't worry about remembering these. I'll send you the PowerPoint afterwards. So it's located at 65 Brunswick Street in Fredericton. Here's another one. It's called Civic Tech, and this is a great program for anybody who is involved in information technology, so IT. Okay, Civic Tech is in Fredericton, and it serves as the connective tissue, so making connections between nonprofit and government innovators. So I'll break that down for you. Essentially, Civic Tech is an area that people meet who have a background in IT, engineering, or business, really. What they do is they work together. You would go to this area, the gathering place, they call it, and it's done every Tuesday night at 6:30. Now, obviously, keep in mind that most of these places are not open right now because of the COVID-19 issue, right? But they are normally, and they will continue to be once things get better. So every Tuesday night at 6:30 p.m., you would gather at this gathering place. You would go to this place, the gathering place, which is at Theville. The address is there, okay? And people would volunteer to go there and brainstorm, which means think about ideas, about business ideas, about IT ideas. And you work on projects and you develop projects together. Okay, so people from all over, people from business, people from IT, people from engineering, they put their heads together for this one idea and they develop it. And often the idea goes from being such a small little thought to an actual creation once people put their heads together at this place. Okay, a lot of tech and projects have been created here and have grown to be something profitable and really awesome. Okay, so for anybody who's interested in growing a network of people, which is the main importance of this program, you want to develop your skills, you want to meet new people, you want to talk to employers. It's such a great way to meet so many people. And if you're not aware yet, networking and getting your face and your voice and your contact out there is so important. So Civic Tech is a great program. We send people there all the time. They tell us that they've met people, that they have been able to talk to people in their own field, and it's been great. Okay, so this is one that I strongly promote, and I think that people should go there mainly to meet and talk to new people, which develops your English, which gives you exposure to different types of jobs and employers. It's awesome. So Civic Tech is, it's really just a gathering place, okay? So they are located at 241 Canada Street. 241 Canada Street is the Ville, and I'll talk about the Ville afterwards. It's an old school, a lot like Multicultural Association. It's an area, a building that is broken off into different pieces, okay? And Civic Tech, they've rented a room at 6:30 on Tuesdays to meet with people. So it's just the building that you're going to. The actual gathering of people is what Civic Tech is. So Planet Hatch. This next one, Planet Hatch is located near Costco, just beside the Regent Mall and Costco uptown. And their mission is to help people start a business. Okay, so if your idea is to go into your own business, you have an idea that you want to develop and you don't know how, you would go to Planet Hatch and they would help you with that. Okay, they help everybody. They help people with everything from creating a business plan, okay, which you need in order to get funding or to go to a bank and get funds there. They help you with creating models for your business idea. They help you with funding. They mentor you. They coach you. They invite you to events. They allow you to share your ideas. It's a really, really great organization that helps people start businesses. Okay, so if you're an entrepreneur and you have an idea that you want to grow, and you don't know who to go to or who can help you with that because you don't know how to start a business in Canada, this is where you would go. You would go to Planet Hatch. Okay. The idea is Planet Hatch. Hatch is kind of like something growing from something small. So when a chicken comes out of an egg, it's hatching, right? And so the idea is that your goals and your dreams, they're hatching into something bigger. Okay, that's where the name comes from. They're located again at 50 Crowther Lane, which is just uptown between Regent and Costco in an area called Knowledge Park. The next one is Opportunities New Brunswick. Okay, and specifically it's ONB Connects. Now, with this one, I want to mention that ONB Connects for this year hasn't received any funding, and I think it has to do with the COVID-19. So they are not currently running, but there's a chance that they will continue to run in the future. But I need to mention that it's very important for you to know they are not running right now, okay? But they're a very, very, very important organization, and I hope that they do come back because they offer so many great programs. So the ONB Connects is what I'm talking about. That program is not running. Opportunities New Brunswick is a very successful organization. This is just one program that they offer, but they do many other things. I think I would like to mention that researching and doing some reading on Opportunities New Brunswick, they do some coaching on employment. They do a lot of things. But ONB Connects was probably their more successful program, and it's not currently running, as I said. So what they did do is that they would match you up with a mentor. Okay, so let's say I have somebody who is in the field of banking, right? Then they would match you with a mentor who is in banking, and that mentor would be able to introduce you to other people within the banking industry. Okay. Which is super valuable. And the reason why is because if your mentor, the person you're meeting who is in the work line of banking, if they introduce you to 3 other bankers, those other bankers can introduce you to 3 other bankers. So all of a sudden you have 9 new contacts, and eventually you might meet somebody who's willing to hire you, right? Because you have been referred to them through this mentor. It was a great program, and unfortunately they did not get the funding this year. So we hope they come back, and when they do, I will be promoting them again because they were wonderful. DePedal. Okay, so the Department of Post-Secondary Education, Training, and Labor. That is what DPETL stands for. You'll see it written on the second line here, the Department of Post-Secondary Education, Training, and Labor. DePedal is a provincial government program. Okay, what they do is they help people find work or perhaps go back to school. So you'll see in the first point here, they offer information on post-secondary education, community colleges, universities, employment, libraries, student financial aid, and so much more. Okay. Again, as I said, they're a provincial government program, so they're funded by the provincial government, which is great. That means that it's well organized and it has a lot of resources and a lot of money to help people. One really important thing here is that DePedal, they took over the contract to help newcomers. Before, it was the YMCA. So the Multicultural Association and the YMCA, they split the duties of helping newcomers find work. Okay, the YMCA was located downtown, and the Multicultural Association, well, we all know where that is. the Multicultural Association helps people find part-time work because we want people to stay in their English classes, right? And in order to stay in your English classes, you can't have a full-time job because it would be too much. So we help people find part-time jobs so that they can stay in their English classes. So for folks like you, if you wanted to have a job and you wanted to stay in English classes, you would come see me and I would try to help you find something that you can balance both. Now, the new contract for full-time jobs, it used to be with the YMCA, but it's now with the Pedal, okay? So when things open again, if you're looking for a full-time job, you'll be going here to the Department of Post-Secondary Education, Training, and Labor. And you'll be meeting with an employment coach there who is going to help you try to find a job. And that's just one piece of what they do. They can help you get back into school if you want to. If you want to have another degree in Canada, if you want to go to college, they might be able to help you reach your goals and help you pay for schooling. So again, a really, really great government program. They can offer a lot more than we can at the Multicultural Association because they're funded by the provincial government. I think it's a great place to go visit, especially if you're looking for full-time work or looking to explore going back to university or college. They're located on the north side, right in front of the old North Side Market, and that is at 300 St. Mary's Street, okay? So usually, I know quite a few people there. If you're interested in going, just send me a message and I can give you contact information for somebody there, okay? What you'll have to do is you'll have to meet with an employment counselor. They'll take down all your information, create a plan for you, go through the plan with you, and yeah, it all depends on what you want to do. It's very unique and tailored to you. Next, we have the Canadian Red Cross, and I've added this because the Canadian Red Cross, they're massive. They're all over Canada. They do so many things. The Red Cross is such a large organization all over the world, right? You see that emblem and you see a lot of, you see anything that has to do with helping humanity, right? Helping others, helping people in need, right? That's what the Red Cross does. They provide medicinal products to people in need. They provide food, they provide shelter, they provide healthcare, whatever. But in Canada, we have the exact same thing, although there's different branches, okay? So the Canadian Red Cross, in this case, this would be for volunteering. So as I said in one of our sessions the other day, volunteering is very important in Canada. If you have volunteering experience, make sure to put it on your resume because it looks really, really good and it shows that you help people or you like helping people. And that's the kind of people employers like to hire. So if you're interested in volunteering, one of the places you can go is the Canadian Red Cross. And you'll see in the second portion here, it says, in order to apply to use one or more of these services or to become a volunteer, please contact this person here, okay? Or you can call them. So you could literally just call and say, hi, I'm looking to volunteer, and they would be able to get your information and call you when they needed you for volunteering purposes, okay? For one of their programs, as you'll see in the first sentence here, it says that sometimes you'll be working with seniors, okay? So seniors are people, are elders here in Fredericton. A lot of time they need help. Perhaps they need someone to talk to or a friend to do some board games with, whatever it might be, right? You can help volunteer with seniors, which is great, and it looks great on a resume, and it's very rewarding personally. Spending some time with elders, getting to know them, to know their story, to make them feel comfortable and wanted. That's just one thing that you could be doing, and it's a very very big honor. Again, if you're interested in volunteering with the Red Cross, you can contact this person or call at that phone number. Next is the Neil Squire Society. Okay, the Neil Squire Society is a program that was started, I believe, in the 70s, and it was created out west, so in British Columbia, in the western provinces of Canada. And the Neil Squire Society began helping people who had physical disabilities find work, right? So let's say somebody had lost their hand. They would help create these tools that would help that person at their workplace. So let's say this person was very good at typing at one point, they lost their hand, and they can no longer type or use a keyboard as well as they could. Well, they would help this person and create a tool. Maybe it was a mechanic arm or fingers or something that would help them at the workplace, which is really, really useful, right? Because people who injure themselves or are disabled in a way, it doesn't mean they can't work. It just means that they have limitations, and the Neil Squire Society helps them get over those limitations. Okay, so people in wheelchairs, sometimes they would create something that would help them type from a lower position, or create a ramp so that they were able to access their workplace anyways. Right, so they would do all these things, and they were funded by the government at that time. Now they've grown into so much more. They're all over Canada, the Neil Squire Society, and they help people with physical disabilities, of course, but they also help people with who have issues getting to work, whether it be a mental issue or a physical disability. Okay, so at the Multicultural Association, we have people who are in a wheelchair, as I'm sure you've seen in English classes, or who have physical disabilities, who are walking on crutches, or who have limited mobility because they've come to Canada as a refugee. Well, this organization helps those people try to find work. Okay, it goes through an employment program, and they have a subsidized program as well, where if we can find somebody who would like to work with them, the organization will pay half of their wages. Okay, so it's an incentive for the company to hire them. And they're located at 104 Willsey Road in Fredericton. Okay, and that's in the industrial sector, just a little bit outside of Fredericton. This next one is Engineers and Geoscientists of New Brunswick. Okay, so APEG-NB is the name of the organization. They work with engineers and geoscientists. So if you are an engineer, if your background is in engineering, or you know somebody who is in engineering who's looking for work, they would be the people to contact. Okay, because they can help you try to get your credentials recognized here in Canada so that you can work as an engineer anywhere. Okay, I think the best thing to do with them is to contact them directly, tell them a bit about your background, and see if you can meet with one of them or take part in one of their sessions or their presentations. Okay, they're here to help people who are in the practice of engineering and geosciences. Okay, that's what they're here for. That's their whole organization. They're here to help people and support people who do that for a living. So I'll read off what it says here. The objectives of engineers and geoscientists in Brunswick are to regulate the practice of engineering and geosciences, and to govern these professions in accordance with the engineering and geosciences professions. Establish and maintain standards of knowledge and skill among its members, and establish and maintain standards of professional ethics among its members in order that the public interest may be served and protected. So essentially, they're here to help you, but they're also here to make sure that you're doing your job and that you have access to the right information and everything you need as an engineer or geoscientist. They're located at 183 Hanwell Road, so just at the bottom of the Hanwell Road. It's very close to the Multicultural Association, in fact. Connect Fredericton. Connect Fredericton is a very exciting one. It's one that I promote all the time. It's a website that allows people to choose where they're going to volunteer. Okay, this one is awesome. It's a lot like Facebook. Okay, you make an account at connectfredericton.ca, and then we would see a list of many areas you can volunteer. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask someone to tell me if they can see what I'm doing here. Okay, so give me 1 second. Connect Fredericton. Okay. Okay, can you see my web browser right now?
Yes, I can see.
Okay, perfect. So I'm going to show you how to get to Connect Fredericton, okay? It's a way that people can volunteer and they choose. So I'm going to connectfredericton.ca and I would click on Volunteer Now, okay? You'll see that here is a list of all types of volunteering opportunities across Fredericton, okay? So this person here, if I were to click on this, it's like searching for a job, but instead of jobs, it's volunteering. So here, Community Food Smart, you could apply to be a volunteer as a produce helper. This area here at the Greener Village, actually, the food distribution, working in the warehouse. Okay, you could volunteer there. Here, you'll see Fredericton Trails. So Fredericton Trails takes care of all of the walking trails in the Fredericton area, and biking trails and ATV trails. So right now they're looking for a trail cleanup crew. Okay, so people to go pick up the garbage that might be littered all over the trails, make them nice, make them more visually friendly so that people can walk and not have to look at garbage. That's something that you could do as well. Anyway, there's so many. You could be a volunteer bus driver at the York Care Center, perhaps driving elderly folk from one place to another. There's so many things that you can do. And so all you do is you sign up. You click the button here, sign up, and you enter your information, and you mention when you're available, and then that's it. You apply for a volunteer position. You can volunteer all over town. Okay, so that's a really great thing that not many people know about. And again, as I said, volunteering is very important. It keeps you busy. It makes great connections with the public. You can meet people who know other people. It's all about networking. So if you can do this, I think it's a great opportunity for many of you. So I'm going to go back to the presentation here. There is no location. It's not, there's no office for Connect Fredericton. You just go online, you create an account, and then you get contacted to go volunteering. The next one is the Theville Cooperative. Okay, the Theville is on the north side. And if anybody has ever been there, the Theville is an old school. It's an old school that they've repurposed. So it's now a building where there are so many different little organizations within this building. Okay, I believe there are English classes, there are sewing classes, there is a woodworking shop. We've done many programs there because they offer many tools. There is a gym, there is a little restaurant and a bar. There's so many things here. It's a really great community spot. And I believe if you go here, you can get a membership for a certain amount of dollars per month, and you can use their services. Okay, the Theville is very community oriented. Okay, so they even have a community garden, so you can go there, buy a bed, a garden bed, and plant your vegetables or fruits or whatever you want. So it's a really great opportunity, and it's a really good opportunity to meet people. Again, it's all about networking. The more people you know, the better chances you have at getting more information about what's available in the city. So they have office spaces for startup businesses, for sewing, agriculture, woodworking programs, volunteering opportunities, etc. So if being part of the community is something that interests you, this place is very community oriented. I would definitely visit the Theville Cooperative. Like I said, We have done many programs there. We've rented their rooms. The multicultural has rented their rooms, and we have done programs with our students and our clients, and they've been very, very great to work with. I do not currently know what programs they have because they change all the time. They change with the seasons. They change with new offices. So I would go to their website, or I would call them or visit them and ask what they have and what opportunities they have and what cool new things they have. You'll notice that the address here is the same one for Civic Tech. That's because Civic Tech is one of those offices that is rented out in this building where they share this information. So very, very community oriented. There's so many different organizations that work in there every day. I added this one because I had the question from a few parents who wanted their kids to do something for the summer or be part of a program that could really look good on a resume. And Canadians, a lot of time they'll have their children do a life-saving course for lifeguards, okay? So people who can, if we're unaware what a lifeguard would do, they would sit by a body of water and they would watch people as they would swim and then rescue them if ever something went badly, right? It's a very prestigious thing that Canadians do. I've done the lifeguarding program when I was young, and I was asked how by some parents that who are my clients, how do I sign up or how do I do this in Fredericton for my kid or for myself? And so this is it. It's Lifesaving Society of Canada. And here they offer programs for children that are typically above the age of 13. And they teach them how to not swim, but they teach them how to do rescue techniques for people who might have trouble swimming, okay? And there are a lot of jobs, if a child does this and is successful, there are a lot of summer jobs for your kids at pools, at provincial parks, all over the province. So it's a really good opportunity, okay? So I wanted to share this with you because I had this question asked by a few parents. If it's something you're interested in and you have kids that might want to become lifeguards or have access to a really great summer job, this is a really good starting point. So it's a Lifesaving Society Canada, and you can contact them here, info@lifesavingnb.ca, and it'll bring you to this person or the communications manager in Fredericton, okay? And then you can talk to them about what programs and what costs there are. And then I believe this is the last one, yeah. Fredericton Info. Now, Fredericton Info is one of the areas that I got all this information from. So Fredericton Info is a very, very, very good site. I'll show it to you in a second. It's essentially a website you go to, and it shares all of the community services that are located in Fredericton. So as the first part says, the database will help you find information on government and community services located or in or serving in the Fredericton region. Okay, so let me show you. By the way, the website is just frederictoninfo.ca. Okay, so let me show you frederictoninfo.ca. Excuse me. Okay, I'll ask again, can you all see my web page?
Yes.
Yes, okay. So let's go into frederictoninfo.ca. So I click here, I type in Fredericton Info in Google, or I just type in frederictoninfo.ca and I go here, okay? And it takes me to this page. Now I can search for certain things, or I can use this area here and click on something that I need, okay? So let's say I need some healthcare services. Where do I go for certain healthcare services? I'll click on this, okay? And you'll see a long list of everything here that has to do with healthcare. So let's say you need, let's see, emergency medical care, okay? And you don't know where to go. You should probably go to a hospital. Let's go somewhere else then. specialized treatment and prevention. Okay, if this is something that you need, these are all of the services that are offered in Fredericton. Okay, it's got their contact information, it's got their hours. It's a really, really useful tool. Okay, so let's go back. Let's pick something else. Actually, I'll ask you, is there something that you would like me to click on? Is there an area that would interest you for me to click? I'll just follow what you'd ask.
God, I want to ask, can I?
Yeah, absolutely.
Where I can find the information about a self-employer?
About a self-employer, like creating your own business?
Maybe, yes.
Okay.
Because sometimes I have a work, some orders, and I want to pay taxes from these orders, but I don't know how I must to.
Okay, that's a very good question. I don't know if I'll see if I can try to find that here.
Okay.
Let's see. So can you give me a bit more of a description of what you want to do? So I understand that you do digital art, right? I believe this is, I'm speaking
Yes.
with the right person. Okay, yeah. So you get orders and then you charge people and you want to pay taxes, but you don't know how?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see, who would I contact? It's a good question. Thank you. You're making it hard for me. That's good. I have to think.
Sorry.
No, it's good. I'm glad. All right. I don't know if you'd find anything like that in Fredericton Info because it's taxes are not so much just in the province, right? They're Canada wide, so it might be bigger than something you would find only here in Fredericton. I think that honestly, if I were you, I would search on the Government of Canada website on how to pay taxes for self-employed businesses. So
where I can find information about what a self-employer is, because I don't understand exactly what it means here.
Okay.
Must I registration somewhere that I'm self-employer? Must I don't know what is it?
Yeah, I think I know what you're saying. I think in order for you to you'd have to probably have a business, right? And a business sounds like it's a lot, but it really is just so that you are registered with the province, okay? Because in order for you to let's say, okay, I'll start with this. My background is business, so I can talk about this a little bit. You want to keep your personal and business things separate, right? That's just normal. You want to keep your personal finances away from your business finances at all times. It's better to do that because it's safer and healthier if you just keep those things separate. Okay, and in order to do that, you have to have a different bank account for your business, right? If you really truly want to keep them separate, you'd have to have a different bank account. Does that make sense? So that you can put all of your income in one area. Now, in order to open a bank account under a business name, you have to have a registered business. Okay, so you would create your own business. It doesn't have to be big. You don't have to buy a piece of property. You just have to have a name and have it registered. Okay, and that's something you would do with the province of New Brunswick. And okay,
where I must to register it?
Well, if I were you, I would start in terms of, because I'm not a business starting professional, I would actually contact these people here. Okay. Oh, actually, do you see this? No, you don't. 1 second.
No.
Here. Now, do you see this now?
Yes.
Okay. So Planet Hatch, like I said, they're great for startups and entrepreneurs. They might have the info that you're looking for. So trying to find a name for your business, making it registered, and just helping you with the questions you have in terms of paying taxes and all that stuff. They're the professionals in that, so I would contact them.
It's nearby Costco, yes? You say?
Exactly. However, they're very easy to contact by phone and email as well. Okay. They have a very nice website. Planet Hatch. Okay. So I would type in Planet Hatch like this. Okay. And I would go to the website. And you can go to About Us or contacting them. So they offer, again, mentorship, coaching on opening a business or having your own business. And they would have that information about who to pay your taxes to or how to pay taxes when you receive money. Okay, so I would go here. Sorry?
Yes, I hear you.
Okay, perfect. So I was hoping they'd have more pictures. But anyways, if you click on Our Team, you'll have all of the people you can contact here. Okay, you'll have their emails, business startup specialist, administrative and client services, right? So you can email them, you can call them, or you can visit them in person. And if you want to email just generic info or call them, this is their contact info here. Okay?
Yes, thank you.
Sure. One sec. Okay. So we'll go back to this here. So Fredericton Info, like I was saying, it's an area where you can find, if you're unsure about certain services. So whether it's employment, whether it's volunteering, you can find the contact info or the location of those services here in Fredericton. So I use this a lot when I have a question from a client of mine who says, where do I go if I want to do this? And I would say, well, you can check Fredericton information, or I look it up with them. Okay, so I use this tool a lot, and I think it's been very helpful. So in a lot of these things that I've mentioned, you'll notice that I talked about networking. Okay, so getting exposed to the community, getting exposed to meeting new people, that's so important, especially when we're talking about employment. And employment in a small area like Fredericton, New Brunswick, it has a lot to do with who you know, okay? It's unfortunate that that's the truth, but it is the truth. The more people you know, and the more people who you contact and get to know personally, the more people you'll meet, and the more options you'll have when it comes to trying to find work. So let's say I go to a volunteering event and somebody else that is volunteering there works at a bank and I want to work at a bank. Well, I just met somebody who is perhaps a bank manager or somebody who knows a bank manager, right? So networking is so important, getting out there, getting exposed to new people. It often helps with you finding a job, okay? Trying to think of another example. A lot of times at volunteering events, you will find people who have a similar passion as you, right? Who like helping people, and it's a great way to meet and perhaps meet somebody who is hiring, right? Somebody like you, which is great. Active involvement and patience. So those are the other two keys to success here: networking, active involvement, and patience. So networking, meeting people in higher positions, meeting people that can potentially hire you. Active involvement, you can only network by being involved. So going out into the community and doing things. And then patience, right? It takes time, of course, but it will always come around. So a lot of you, you network without even knowing, right? So meeting people in your classes, in your English classes, that's networking. You're meeting people from different areas of the world. They're sharing information with you. You're meeting teachers. You come to employment, you meet me, you meet my team, right? And we have connections everywhere. So yeah, it's very important. And I think most people who have found jobs with us have done so through their own networking, right? That's all I have for today. I hope this was helpful. There are so many more community services available to you in Fredericton that you might not know of. So I really, really want people to take away from this that you can find it by just doing a bit of research, okay? If there's something that you're unfamiliar about, do a bit of research on Google, perhaps ask me, go to frederictoninfo.ca, type in what you're looking for, and you might be able to find it, okay? Because there's nothing worse than not knowing and not acting because you don't know what to do, okay? And you don't know where to find the information. It's always good to be proactive. You need to get out there, do things, solve your problems, and you can only do that if somebody usually helps you or you have the answers to solving your problems, right? So that's what I wanted to share with you today. I hope some of these were useful. I hope they were useful for specific people, of course. Maybe your background is in IT and you know where to go now, or you want to open a business and you know where to go. So that was the point of today. I guess I'll ask if anybody has any questions to please ask me, okay? And then if not, then we'll terminate the session. No additional questions? I do want to ask, did you guys find this session useful?
Yeah, it is very useful.
Yes, I think
a lot of
you. Yes, very useful for me.
Okay, good.
Yes,
I'm
thank you.
glad. You're welcome. That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that I can share some information that could be useful for you. So I will send this presentation to Sue, and Sue will send it to you all because most of these, they have the addresses, the email addresses, and the physical addresses of the locations if you ever want to use them. Okay. So
Great.
with that, I will leave it and we will talk again very soon.